So here we are.
Once again.
No, not again. We're not doing this again. We just did that.
Here we are, back in my casa, mi casa, in the living room.
That is casa.
My office was way too messy and I was not about to clean it, so.
Details.
It's also the day before Halloween. We are recording this in October, even though it comes out in November. So.
Hence.
We haven't put our wigs on yet.
The gothic vibe.
But we are witches this year.
Spooky. So, what's been new with you?
Nothing much, to be honest. We actually just got back from New Orleans.
We did. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot.
Yeah, so we went to New Orleans for our friend's bachelorette party, and we just happened to be there at the right time, and they were doing Halloween parades, so it was like super fun, and Ashley made a best friend. So, Oliver from Washington.
Memphis.
Oliver from Memphis.
Born in 94.
Born in 94, but he's married with a kid, but like was a great...
Very fun, out with his coworkers.
Friend that showed us all the fun places to go. Actually, did not.
Not really.
We ran into him multiple times.
Yes.
Super fun guy.
Love you, miss you. Mean it.
Yeah.
Text me.
It's like long lost best friends right
I know.
here.
I was like, Oliver, oh my God.
What is
you are best friend.
What was the newspaper, like Misconnections?
Sure.
Okay. Well, you know, like the old, like you miss a connection, you put the ad in the newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
And hope that someone read it.
Yeah.
But like Misconnections, like friend verse.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I just posted on the internet and just been like, internet, do your thing, someone would find him. I have a video of his face.
I do too, because he was great.
He was very, dancing. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Loved it.
Love you, Oliver. Miss you so much. What's new with you?
Just been, so sorry. I've just been living my best life. Not much. How long has it been? A month?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm lame. I don't do much of anything.
I don't either besides work. Oh, if you hear crying.
Dogs.
More
specifically, Groot.
My wiener dog is like on the couch ottoman to the side and he cries for attention.
Jackson doesn't cry, but he does bark.
Puppy. Do you want to come here?
He says, I need attention. Goodies.
The sad thing is, Ashlyn brought her dog here, and he's happy as a clam. And he's hanging out with my husband.
He's
my
just
dog
happy to be here.
Lives here and is still upset. Come here.
Goody, come on.
Come here.
Come up here. Oh, come on.
He says, I don't want to actually walk into the frame.
Well, here
all right, you gonna be good?
He's okay. All right.
All right.
So this is two girls with too many books and a dog.
Hi.
Bookaholics.
This is Groot. So we read Beautiful Mistake by Vi Keeland. So yeah, do you want to give a synopsis on what that book's about?
It is about a music teacher and his student. And that's all I'm going to say. If that is not the trope that you are into, then this book may not be for you, but it was very good. What did you rate it? Goodies.
We might have to pause for just a minute. Okay, we're back. I just had to tell my dog to be quiet. Before we rate it, quick little thing. We did not realize this going into the book, but there is mention of assault of a minor. Not the main character. It's in the past. And it's like in flashback chapters. So, just so you're aware of it, it is there. We didn't know it going into it, and I was kind of like, oh.
Definitely a trigger warning
this
if you
is
have
in the
any
book.
sort of...
Again, it's nothing explicit. It's like mentioned and like hinted at. And it's not the main character, and it did take place like 15 years in the past. But it's there.
But it was relevant for the story.
Yes. So, my rating for the book was 4 stars.
Mine was also 4 stars.
Wow.
I know.
Tell me why yours was 4 stars.
No. We will do that after we tell people to go away.
Oh, that's right. Okay, but what about spiciness?
4 stars.
Wow. I said 4 stars as well.
Wow, look at it. We agree.
This has never happened before.
I think maybe one time. No, probably not. Not on both ratings.
Right.
Wow.
So, well, we both rated the book and the spicy 4 stars.
Yeah. I won't get into it just yet. So this is the part, obviously, if you've been listening and or watching, you know this by now. But if you have not read it, boot, scoot, and skedaddle. Come back after you've read it so that you will not be spoiling anything for yourself listening to us talk about Le Book.
Le Book.
So bye-bye. And if you're still here...
Welcome. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So here's why I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
And it's a personal preference thing. It has absolutely nothing to do with how well the book was written. I, myself, am not a religious person.
Oh, I told you.
You did.
I told you.
There was a lot of Catholicism, which is totally fine. I get it. Like, I read Priest. Listen, I gave Priest a 5 out of 5. Mm-hmm. But like, I knew that going into the book. I knew, like, it's called Priest. It's gonna have a lot of religion in it.
Doesn't she sleep with the priest?
If you haven't read that book, we'll talk about it later.
I have not read that book. It's on my list.
We'll be doing that one for Patreon eventually.
Okay. My dishwasher's done.
I was like, what is that noise?
It's a long chime. It's still going.
Yeah, I love this.
I don't know if you can hear it, but it sounds like an ice cream truck.
It kind of does. I dig it. I wish mine sounded fun like that.
It's still going.
What's the brand?
I think it's the Samsung. I don't know. We'll look at it when we're done.
I think mine's an LG.
All right, it's done.
So, yeah, the main reason for the 4 out of 5 was just because it was very religion heavy, which is, again, fine, but I did not expect that going into it.
Right.
And the smut being a 4 out of 5 was because there were several fade to blacks that I was like, I'm in the mood for a smutty chapter, and you just cock-blocked me. Mm-hmm. So that is my specific reasoning for my 4 out of 5.
I do. So, sorry, I'm getting over bronchitis.
Is that contagious?
Not anymore.
Good.
So I agree on the spiciness. I think at 4 to 5, because the scenes that she had, they were really good. But then, like, after she would have a scene, like an explicit scene, she would tend to fade to black.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But, like, they did, like, I liked all the dirty talk, all that. Like, it was a really well written scene when it was there. But she did fade to black after she would have an explicit one. And she was like, and then blah, 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 blah. The 4 out of 5 for me, I agree with the religion part. I have no issue with people's religions. I was not raised Catholic. Honestly, I don't really know a lot about Catholicism, except for they have priests and confessionals. And so that was a little iffy for me just because I was like, I'm not really interested in reading this. I get it, like their backstory, that was important for them and how they were connected. I will say Vi Keeland, her other book that we were reading for our other group book club, also has Catholicism in it.
Which is fine. Now I know that going in.
Not to the extent that this book had it, but like there's hints. So I wonder if like she just grew up Catholic and so she incorporates that into her books.
But I feel like I know for a fact I've read at least one, if not 2 other Vi Keeland books. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they had any.
Maybe we just picked the 2 that have like Catholicism in it.
Maybe. Because it was Boss Man. Highly recommend. Yeah, and it was, I don't think there was any. Anyway. That's my reasoning for my 4 out of 5. Otherwise, I really liked the book overall.
I did too. I really did enjoy it. The only thing I didn't like, I'm not a huge flashback person. And I feel like almost every other chapter was a flashback.
Yeah.
Which I understand why she did it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a huge fan of flashbacks. Which again, we're reading Inappropriate by Vi Keeland for our other one, by Vi whatever. And it's also flashbacks. Like, half the book is a flashback.
I'm okay with a few flashbacks here and there, but I really like it more to be, like, alluded to.
Yes.
I mean, not so, like, I don't want it to be, like, alluded that we're now reading a flashback, but just, like, saying, you know, this has happened in the past. And be like, okay. I mean, I get when it's necessary for the plot development, but so many of them is overkill.
I will say, I think the flashbacks confused me so much. I did not realize that little girl was Rachel.
Oh, I did. Immediately.
I did not, because part of me was thinking that it was... Because Rachel was, like, looking at the band members of when he was younger. And she's like, oh, who's that young girl that's in, like, all the pictures with him? And, like, they highlighted that girl. And I was like, okay, is this flashback about who that girl is? And, like, why he doesn't date anymore? I was very confused. I did not get that it was Rachel until she threw a penny in his bedroom. And he realized it was Rachel. I realized it was Rachel at the same time.
Oh, but I thought at one point she had said, "My name is Rachel," in the confessional.
No. I don't think so. I don't
Maybe
think she ever said her name.
Okay, well, for some reason, I definitely knew it was her.
If it was said, I completely missed it.
I feel like that probably was supposed to be a plot twist that I just figured out ahead of time, so it wasn't as twisty.
I really thought they were focused on whoever that young girl was, which I guess was the lead singer's girlfriend.
Yeah.
But I thought that was like who she was. I don't know. I was shook that it was Rachel. I was like, oh my gosh, the pennies. So I actually had like a moment.
Because I already inferred correctly, I was not surprised per se, but I was like mildly frustrated that he was putting so much weight on the fact that the whole situation had happened where he was the faux priest.
Yeah.
When he was like, I just can't be with her now and I was like, are you kidding? Just freaking talk to her about it. I'm like, granted, you did pretend to be a priest. I mean, like, that's not like cool.
He's
don't
also
do that.
A teenager. Yeah, he was dumb.
But then he had to like get the priest's permission basically to feel okay about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is, I mean, okay. Mm-hmm. I don't sound very happy about it. I really did like this book.
I liked the book too. I didn't like that there was no major conflict.
I agree.
I feel like it was a very slow moving book, and that's probably why I also rated it a 4. It was just like really slow. It built their relationship, and it was more like his inner conflict was the conflict.
Yeah.
And there was nothing else happened. And Rachel was like, what the hell's going on? Kind of thing.
I mean, not to compare, but I have definitely read books where there was no conflict, and I'm like, what?
Why did I read it?
I was like, okay, now they live happily ever after. I'm like, wait, what? There was like nothing bad happened at all? That's just not even realistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I agree. There could have been more.
I wanted more drama with Professor Pink.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like there was so much potential there, and it was just kind of like, I slept with her in the past.
Yeah, she's a part of my past now. Yeah, I do wish there had been just a smite more, just more of everything.
Yeah.
The book was kind of short though, right? It was like 200.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it was 200. It was on the shorter side. Like it was less than 350.
Okay.
I think it may have been like right over 300.
So I think, really? I thought it was, I thought it was between like,
I'm going to look it up while we're talking.
200 and 300. But I have realized that my sweet spot of liking a book typically is between 300 and 400 pages, because then I feel like we really did get a lot of development. We did get a pretty good plot, and usually it means there's more sex scenes. Not always.
Yeah, you're right. It was 297.
Thank
so
you.
It was like right at that 300 mark, which we typically read like 350 and up.
Yes. Yeah, our Patreon, going over to Patreon if you want to hear more about Birthday Girl, was 404 pages.
And the other Vi Keeland book is 366, and that's the one I told you I liked more.
I think it's a trend.
I think it was just more plot, like more, yeah.
But overall, obviously this is a trope that I thoroughly enjoy. This is, I said student teacher in the beginning. It's not. It's a TA.
Yeah.
And teacher, which is similar to the tropes I read. They're usually more like student professor. Did you hear that?
You think Matt just farted?
No, that was my stomach.
Ashlyn's hungry.
No, I think I'm digesting.
Oh, okay. I thought my husband farted in the other room.
No, that was my tum-tum.
It's 1:30 here, and we're having a Halloween party at 4.
I'm so sorry. If that microphone picked this up, we're going to contact them and sponsor them, because
sponsor them.
They can sponsor whatever. That
What's
would be
the brand?
Impressive. Fiffin?
Fiffine.
All right.
Fifine.
Anywhoosies. Yes, this is a trope that I thoroughly enjoy. I usually do more student professor, but I did like the TA/teacher aspect, because they already kind of had that like bond, just because they were one-on-one versus like I'm 1 in 30 students. Pick me.
Yeah, I know. He was already like, I know who you are.
Yes.
And they also were like in an auditorium class, and he still like found her.
Yes. And I liked that random, I'm going to call him a stoner dude because I really don't know, but the guy that drew the nudes.
That drew her naked? Yeah.
I was like, I wish there were more development around that.
Kane all messed up, yeah.
He was just such a weird third character that I was just like, all right, he's just here.
I did not like, though, how Kane coped with things by just completely shutting her out. Like, he disappeared, and she was, like, in his class, and he wasn't there to start it, and she's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna, like, do his class for him.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's a trend with this author.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Was Boss Man like that?
No,
was there
I really
anything
don't
that
think
made
it
him?
was.
Then I guess the 2 books that I've read by her are very similar with the main characters.
I'm gonna confirm that it's by her.
Their coping mechanisms with conflict, like, yeah, I didn't like how he handled it, because it seemed like a very immature way of handling like stress.
Okay, I have read, sorry not to interrupt, I have read Boss Man by Vi Keeland and also The Boss Project by Vi Keeland. I have to say so far The Boss Project is my favorite.
Okay.
So you'll have to read that one.
I did like Inappropriate though.
Okay, well I have to read that one, so.
I had a lot of mental health in it.
I have lots of books for mental health.
Well, that's one of them. Add it to your mental health list.
Good.
Now, I'm trying to think of what else about. Oh, you texted me and you're like, I feel like I'm in a music class right now, reading the book.
I was like, V did her research. Like, she definitely knew what was going on for a music class, because when they were talking about like doing the auditory versus like cutting out your sound and only, or cutting out your vision and only having the sound, and like doing all these different things, and I was like, I really feel like I'm mildly in a music class right now because of some of the things that you just... How else do you know about this?
I honestly loved that she used Trumpets by Jason Derulo as their song. Too. And when we were in college, I had Trumpets by Jason Derulo in my earbuds as I did homework in the library, because I just loved...
Yeah, and I didn't realize the trumpets were synthesized. I was like... Again, I would not know this. She did her research.
You learned something new. I know. I enjoyed that, because I love a book where it's like romance, great, wonderful, but I also like that there's some depth to it.
Sorry, this is about to fall off.
Oh, we paused the Spotify. I like that there was some depth to it, and like I felt like I took something away from it besides just reading a book.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. Agreed. Did they ever mention that he was just filthy rich?
Yes. They said that his family came from a line of financial investors or something.
Okay.
And he was in a band, and like his parents frowned down upon it. And,
I
like,
knew, yeah.
He didn't follow in his family's footsteps, but he inherited like part of the company from his grandfather.
That vaguely sounds familiar. Okay.
So like that's why he had the really nice apartment in Manhattan. And,
yeah.
Because I was like, you're not going to get this on teacher's salary.
And when he mentioned that he bought all of those Bose headphones from his pocket, I was like... Bose headphones are like $100 to $200 a pair.
That's expensive, yeah. So
okay, I didn't remember if that was mentioned.
It was mentioned. I really liked him giving his niece peanuts and her having the allergic reaction.
I thought that was very cute. And it was a good bonding moment.
He showed up and like she didn't have any pants on, and like Rachel was like, "Oh my God, give me the baby."
That honestly sounds like, you know what I thought about when that was happening? I was like, see, this is what would happen if I were left in charge to babysit any children at all. I would be him.
Oh.
I would be Kane, being like, oh, shit. This kid has an allergy that I have forgotten about, and now I have to rush to the hospital, and we'll see if I remember pants. For myself, much less the children.
I really liked that. I did.
It was very cute.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I don't really have much
else to say. There's really not. I mean...
it was not a crazy, impressive book, but it was a good read. It was a quick read.
Yes.
So I don't really have too much to talk about aside. I liked the characters, and I liked the overall story. I wish there was more conflict, but I really don't have anything too negative to say about it.
Me either. So, pardon me while I just do a little scratchy scratch on the inside of my nose right there. So I would say for recommendations, because Haley forced this upon me last time to have recommendations ready.
Yeah. You tell me, because this is your trope.
Thank you. Yes, it is my trope. I think I actually mentioned this book last time. Didn't we just do a student teacher?
We did because it was Gothicana.
So, guess what? I'm recommending one of the books that I have already recommended because it was that good. And the problem is, I don't remember what the name of the book is off the top of my head because I was only half prepared. So just give me a hot, brief second while I just look at that really quickly. I can find it. And look, you're not even going to realize that I haven't found it yet because I'm still talking. And it was really good. Okay, so the book is called...
You were so close to having it without...
I was so close
without stopping
Stop.
talking.
Oh, I've read so many books. Oh, no. Dark Notes by Pam Goodwin.
Oh, yeah, you've told me about that one.
So this one is very similar to the book we just read in the aspect of it is a music teacher and a student, not a TA. And she
What's the age of the student?
I don't recall.
Like, is this college or is this high school?
I think technically it's high school because she's preparing for college.
So probably a senior.
She's definitely a senior, yes.
18 years old.
Yes. She is extremely musically gifted in piano. And he is her piano teacher. And it is a darker book. It has some dark themes in it. It is not as easy of a read, in my opinion, as what we just read. The Pam Godwin, this is the only book I've read by her, but she's definitely not as fluffy as Vi. So would definitely recommend that book. And then just for another, I don't have many TAs, so I don't have another like good TA recommendation, but I do have.
Oh my gosh,
I think it's gas.
Just going.
I think it's gas. There was one up here that I was like, oh, that one was good. Her Perfect.
Is that the mental health one?
That one's Medicine Man.
Oh, okay.
Her Perfect by Stephanie Walls. Also had a mental health. It was also a student teacher. I'm 90% sure. But it did also have some mental health in it.
Okay.
Because she's like, has to be a perfectionist. And it really weighs on her. So those are the two that I would recommend that are kind of in the same trope. And just waiting on my stomach to make another noise. I'm so sorry.
So that was great. Thank you for those recommendations, Ashlyn. I know you've told me about Dark Notes a couple times, so I should probably look at that, but I think I need a break from student teacher.
That's fair.
Because we've read so many of them recently.
We have.
Now we have picked out a book for next time. And this will be for our December episode. And it is called Forever After All by Katharina Mora. And just to read you the little Goodreads part, it says, desperate and out of options, Elena Rousseau walks into a gentleman's club, ready to sell her body in a last attempt to save her mother's life. She didn't expect Alexander Kennedy to be there, and she certainly didn't expect him to propose a marriage of convenience instead. Marrying Alexander means knowingly becoming a tool in his revenge plan. But what choice does she have? Better the devil you know than the one you don't. And then the author has a little note, and it says, author's note, this book contains a billionaire, possessive alpha hole and steamy scenes.
Alpha holes are my favorite.
I'm ready for an alpha hole.
I would absolutely kick one in the balls if I ever had to deal with one in
real
person.
life. No.
But to read about,
it's the idea of it that we like, but the reality of it we don't like.
Absolutely not. If somebody tried to alpha hole me, I would literally bring them to their knees.
Matt doesn't. So
I believe
we have no issues.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
So yeah, that's going to be out the first Wednesday in December. And it didn't look like it was too long of a read. It was like mid 300s. Cool.
Great.
All right. Hey, I know we caught up, but like, was there anything exciting that happened this week for you?
I got the leak in my front yard fixed.
Oh my God, I'm so happy for you.
It's happened. It's been leaking for a long time, almost about a year in BD. But it's progressively gotten much worse. And my dad was like, you really need to call somebody. And I'm like, oh, Dad. So I did, and I got 2 quotes that about knocked me over. To repair with no guarantee was going to be between $700 and $900, but no guarantee. So theoretically, they could fix it and it would break like an hour later.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could replace the whole line for between $2,500 and $3,600. And then my parents happen to know a guy who fixed it for $300. And I was like, this is what I'm going for here. I will take a $300 fix. So that is going to lower my water bill significantly.
Yeah. Not having an active leak. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? It's very exciting for me. What about you? Anything exciting?
I'm just really excited that today is my Halloween party. You can see I have a little cute little spider right there. But my whole dining room has lights. Like I have streamers.
There's a lot of cute stuff in here. I was like, wow, this is really decorated.
Thank you. I just, I don't want to take the camera off my computer right now.
Grab the spooky pillow.
Oh, yeah. Like, I have, like, my Rae Dunn. Oh, it's backwards. I have my Rae Dunn, like, spooky pillows, my Halloween stuff everywhere, skeletons, tombstones. Yeah, and this is our first year in this house for Halloween. And we live right next to an elementary school, and Halloween is, like, my favorite holiday. So I'm really excited for trick-or-treaters, and we're one of the only houses on our street that decorated.
Wow.
Sad day. I thought that we were going to be, like, into it over here. But, yeah, I have lights up for kids and the spider web on the front porch, so I'm just really excited.
I personally will have my light off, and if anybody comes to my door, I will not answer. I did not buy candy.
I have a giant bowl of candy, and I got the good candy. I got, like, Reese's and Kit Kats and Snickers.
I will be a child and look at your bowl for a minute.
Well, I got you a goodie bag for today.
You know me so well.
Everybody got one, but yes. So that's about it, guys. We hope you had a great Halloween, and happy November. It's turkey month.
Yes, eat lots of food, lots and lots of food. And then we'll see you in the beginning of December, and then it'll be basically Christmas time.
Yeah, Santa Claus is coming.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
And right after this, we are recording Birthday Girl for Patreon. So if you want to go join Patreon and listen to that one.
I have lots to say.
We loved Birthday Girl.
Head on over.
Okay, so until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.